What happens when a child grows up online, gets watched by millions, turned into a brand, and then the moment she turns 18, the internet suddenly acts shocked by where it all leads?
What's up, everybody? I am Rishi,
And I'm Roxy. Welcome to Livestream Tea.
where the live streams are messy.
The drama is loud, and we're breaking it all down.
Let's get into it.
Come spill with us. Girl, this tea is hot. And not just hot, scalding. Because this is not a story that came out of nowhere.
People were warning about it for a long time.
And somehow, when it finally happened, everyone still acted surprised. Hi, I'm Roxy, and welcome back to Livestream Tea, where we don't just sip the tea, we look at what is really sitting at the bottom of the cup.
And today, this one is heavy.
Because this is not just about one influencer making one controversial decision. This is about fame, childhood, money, internet pressure, and the adults who were supposed to protect someone before the machine got too powerful. I'm talking about Piper. For years, people warned that Piper's online image was moving in a dangerous direction. They pointed out the outfits, the thumbnails, the adult-coded content, the people around her, and the way her childhood was becoming a business model. And now, the moment she is legally old enough, she has stepped into exclusive paid content, and the internet is acting surprised. But girl, let's be honest, this did not appear out of nowhere. It feels like the final scene of a movie people watched in slow motion for years. Piper turned 18, launched her exclusive content account, and promoted the link publicly like it was just another influencer product drop. But this is not a hoodie launch. This is not a makeup collab. This is not some cute brand deal. This is a young woman who grew up online, now stepping into a space where privacy disappears fast, boundaries blur even faster, and screenshots can follow someone forever. And that is exactly what people are already talking about. Content is being reposted, discussed, screenshot, and spread across platforms. The internet is treating it like entertainment. But underneath the gossip, there is something darker. This is someone who spent most of her life being watched, judged, marketed, and criticized. Now the same audience that helped build that machine is acting shocked by where the machine led her. And that makes me put the cup down for a second. Because when someone grows up online, they do not get a normal relationship with fame or privacy. They learn early that views matter, controversy pays, and being talked about keeps you relevant. Girl, that kind of world changes a person. What makes this even more disturbing is the environment Piper was around before turning 18. She had already been connected to creator spaces where adult subscription content was normal. She appeared around influencers whose careers were built on selling private content and moved closer to an industry many people felt she should not have been around as a minor. Fans noticed, critics noticed, even some creators spoke up. But the adults around her? Now, girl, this is the part that has people side-eyeing everybody. Where were the people whose job was to protect her? Where were the boundaries? Where was the person saying, no, this is too much? Because when a teenager is surrounded by adults who know exactly how attention turns into money, the situation stops looking like innocent content creation. It starts looking like preparation. Maybe Piper sees it as confidence or control. But girl, when attention has been currency your whole life, it becomes hard to know where your choice ends and conditioning begins. Some people are dragging Piper as if she alone built this whole situation from scratch. But that feels too simple. She was a child star of the social media age. Her childhood was uploaded, edited, packaged, monetized, criticized, and replayed over and over again. So when she says she is already this deep into the hate and might as well make something from it, that does not sound like empowerment to me. It sounds like exhaustion. It sounds like someone who believes the damage has already been done, so there is no point trying to escape the role the internet created for her. And girl, that is not a flex. That is sad. Now let's talk about the money, because you already know money changes everything. Once regular influencer income slows down, brand deals become harder, and old platforms stop paying like they used to, the pressure to find a new income stream becomes real. For someone famous since childhood, stepping away and living quietly may not feel possible. The internet trained her to believe visibility equals survival. So when the traditional kid influencer bubble starts to collapse, what comes next? For some young influencers, the answer becomes adult subscription content. And that is what makes this trend so disturbing. It is not just one person, it is a pattern.
And girl, this pattern has been brewing for a long time.
Young creators are built up for years while they are minors. Audiences grow attached to them. People watch them grow up and treat their lives like entertainment. Then, the second they turn 18, the branding shifts. The links change. The content becomes more adult. The audience that watched childhood videos is redirected somewhere else. And everyone pretends this is just a personal business decision. But girl, is it really personal when the system was built years before they were old enough to understand it? That is what is really sitting at the bottom of the cup. Piper's mother has also been part of the conversation for a long time. Not every claim online should be treated as proven fact without evidence, but the fact concerns followed the family for years makes this feel less like a surprise and more like a result. Because this is the problem with kid influencing. It turns childhood into content before the child can understand the cost. It rewards parents and managers for pushing boundaries. It teaches young creators that attention is love, criticism is normal, and privacy is optional. Then, when those kids grow up and make extreme choices, everyone asks what went wrong. But girl, the answer was sitting in plain sight the whole time. The internet does not protect young stars. It consumes them. It watches them grow up, saves their pictures, mocks their mistakes, and then acts innocent when they begin performing for the same attention they were raised inside. And that is why this tea is not just messy. It is upsetting. It is scalding. Because it is about what happens when childhood becomes content and nobody knows when to stop filming. Piper is not the first young influencer to face this shift, and she probably will not be the last. And the saddest part is that Piper is still young enough to turn things around. She could step back, rebuild her brand, move into acting, business, lifestyle content, music, or something healthier. But that would require real support, not people who only care when the views are high, not people who only show up when money is coming in, not people who confuse attention with protection. She needs adults around her who care more about her future than her traffic. Does she have that? Does she have people who are willing to lose money to protect her? Does she have anyone who can say no when the internet is screaming yes? People can argue all day about whether Piper is legally an adult now. Technically, yes, but legality does not erase the years that came before it. Turning 18 does not magically undo a childhood spent online. It does not erase the pressure, conditioning, public judgment, or the adults who may have benefited from keeping her visible. A birthday does not suddenly make everything healthy. So the conversation should not just be, why did Piper do this? The better question is, who allowed this path to be built around her? Maybe Piper believes this is power. Maybe she believes this is control. Maybe she thinks she is finally choosing for herself. But from the outside, it looks like a young woman trying to survive the exact world that raised her. And once the views slow down, once the drama fades, and once the audience moves on, Piper is the one left with the consequences. Her childhood has already been turned into content. Her privacy has already been traded for attention. And now, the question is whether anyone will finally care enough to stop the machine. So, what do you think? Is this empowerment, or did the adults around Piper fail her long before this moment happened? Comment your thoughts below. And if you want more deep celebrity stories like this, welcome to Livestream Tea. Like and subscribe, because girl, the tea is never just tea. Sometimes it is scalding.